Okay, so just about a week ago, I made a video where I asked AI to rate my Bloxfruits build. And I asked you guys to, and in a short I made that same day, to comment down your Bloxfruits builds. And we have 3 builds that I got. And today we are going to be asking AI to analyze the builds of the subscribers who commented their builds. So I appreciate all of you guys who commented down your builds, and I'm able to make this video now. Also, I just got a real job recently, so the uploads are not going to be, coming as frequently. I'm still going to try to upload at least one long video, one short, and a community post per week. But I'm no longer unemployed. I'm no longer an unk. It's crazy. But anyways, guys, I'm kind of just rambling. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first build we got is by Tandon Tishi Wang. And it is God Human, Portal, Shark Anchor, and Skull Guitar. So shout out to him for commenting their build. So the quick Okay, so shout out to him for commenting down his build. Now the quick verdict here, I asked the AI and the quick verdict is 7.5 out of 10. Strong combo, centric PvP build with excellent burst and lockdown, but it's mechanically demanding and situational. True. Okay, I see what it's getting at. Let's go through this whole thing and then I'll tell you guys what I think of the build. Attributes: God Human, Shark Anchor, Portal, Skull Guitar. So, damage, high. Crowd control, very high. Energy synchronizing, excellent. Difficulty, medium to hard. Mobility, moderate. Build summary. This build focuses on chaining stuns and grabs into massive bursts. God Human gives strong single target bursts and vertical control. Shark Anchor provides a reliable grab and follow-up. Portal offers setup and repositioning, and Skull Guitar adds extra damage and combo extensions. Why the AI rated it 7.5. Strengths: exceptional one-shot combo potential and lockdown. When you land a Portal or Shark Anchor grab, you can reliably follow with God Human and Skull Guitar to finish most squishy targets. What? The build shines in bounty hunting and 1v1s where you can control engagement windows. Weaknesses: high execution requirement and limited utility versus groups or high defense tanks. If you miss the initial grab, if the opponent has strong mobility / instinct, your damage window narrows quickly. Yep, this makes sense. Playstyles and practical tips: open with Portal, chain with Shark Anchor from there, God Human, Skull Guitar. Timing and aiming matters more than raw stats. Yep, gotta make sure you spam at the right times to land the combo. But it does, it does make for consistent one-shot combos there. If you can land all those abilities, it can be super broken. Mindful counters. Prioritize melee and sword, because Portal usually doesn't do a ton of damage. It's not the best PvP fruit, but I'm sure this guy knows what he's doing. This is a pretty common combo build, I think. So it's to be expected. This guy knows what he's doing. Final takeaway: this is a high reward, medium difficulty PvP build that requires practice and precise execution. If you enjoy combo play or one-shot setups, it's a very satisfying choice. Yep. All right. So this build rated it a 7.5 simply because of the weak spots it have, which makes sense. Personally, I would give this build an 8.5 myself. It's not very unique. A lot of people use it, but that's because it's good. It's reliable if you can time it right and spam it right. So yeah, W build. And again, shout out to this guy right here for commenting down his build. Okay, so that's just one build down, and we actually still have 2 more to go. So make sure you stick around, because the builds, the builds keep coming. Okay, so this build I actually got from a friend of mine. And, he's a great friend of mine. His name is actually Fred Peeping. The link to his channel will be down in the description. So go check out his channel. He's a great friend of mine and a great small YouTuber. Alright, his build is Sanguinar, Dovi2, CDK, Soul Guitar, and Cyborg V4. So for my AI video, I did put that I had Human V4. The last build we just did, the commenter did not put their race, so, we didn't have that there. Their Bloxfruits race, we don't know if they had Mink, Angel, Ghoul. You know, we don't know that. We don't know if they had V1, 2, 3, 4. From the build, I'm assuming they probably had Shark V4 or Angel V. I really can't tell you though. So for this one, he does have one. It's Cyborg V4, and this is just his main build. This is a high-tier PvP/PvE hybrid build. Let's break it down and rate it across key categories. Build overview. Fighting style. Sanguinart. Excellent for aggressive, high-damage combos with strong mobility and lifesteal. Oh my goodness, guys. Wow, I'm looking out the window. It is so windy outside. You guys probably can't hear it through the microphone because I have, like, different settings on. If you guys can hear it, comment down below, but it is windy outside. Anyways, build overview. Sanguinart, Bloxfruit, V2, Awakened, one of the top tier fruits for both PvP and grinding. Sword, Cursed Dual Katana, CDK, meta-defining sword with high DPS and combo scenes. I still do not know how to pronounce that. Gun, Soul Guitar, versatile range support with stuns and AoE, great for zoning and combo extensions. Race, Cyborg V4 offers energy regeneration, damage reduction, and AoE burst, perfect for sustained fights and punishing opponents. PvP rating is an 8.5 out of 10. Strengths, insane combo potential, Do V2, Sanguinart, and CDK. Cyborg V4's AoE burst and energy regen give you the edge in extended fights, and Soul Guitar adds range pressure and utility. Weakness, slightly less mobility than Angel V4 or Mink V4 builds, requires high skill to execute combos consistently. PvE grinding rating, 8.5. Do V2's AoE and stuns make farming mobs and bosses efficient. Soul Guitar helps with crowd control. Cyborg V4's energy regen keeps you going longer. Sanguinart is more PvP oriented. Sharkman or Electric Claw might be more efficient for pure grinding. That is literally the most false thing ever. Sharkman is not better. Sharkman and Electric Claw better than Sanguinart for grind. Come on now. Come on now, AI. You're kidding, right? Sanguinart is the best grinding style, period. The M1s on the thing are insane. Skill curve, high. This build rewards players who can master timing, combo chaining, and situational awareness. Not beginner friendly, but lethal in the right hands. Overall rating, 9.2 out of 10. A top tier flashy and lethal build that dominates in PvP and holds its own in PvE. If you're confident in your mechanics and want to flex both style and power, this is a beastly setup. Alright, WWW. Dragon V2. Does it just talk about Dragon rework at that point? I think so. Alright, guys, that is 2 builds down so far, but do not leave. No, do not leave. We still have one more build to go. It is the most legendary, awesome, powerful build you will ever see. Now, without further ado, I present this build to you. Rocket, Dual Katana, Flintlock Combat, and Mink V1. Yeah, okay. I know it's not exactly what you guys were expecting, but taking into account that this is first C, I am going to rate it myself, because the AI will see this and be like, because it's never played the game. It doesn't understand how different C's work properly. You know, it's still AI. You know, it can't play and understand and feel the video game like a real human can. So I, Laura Signal, am going to rate your build from the mind of a first C noob. Let's do it. So, unfortunately, because combat is literally impossible to get after you get off of it, I cannot rate with combat. However, we all know it's obviously the most powerful style in the game. Not really, though. So, what I am going to do, though, is I'm going to equip the rest of everything you said. So, rocket fruit. How do I only have one rocket? How is that even possible? Let's eat this. Confirm. Don't worry, guys. My tigers are permanent. Dual katanas. Ba-ba-da. Dual katanas equipped. And flintlock. Okay, so and I don't have Mink Race. I'm sorry, but Mink V1 I don't think does anything. So, other than combat, this is the exact loadout that he named right here. So, from the mind of a first scene noob, let's see what this can do. Flintlock. People don't use guns very much, you know, for grinding or PvP unless it's a gun like Soul Guitar or Dragonstorm or has an insane combo. However, for first C, this gun has some flashy moves and I like it. Swords, the dual katana. They actually look pretty sick, not gonna lie. The ability, Whirlwind, look at that pose. Deadly form right there. That is actually cooler than I remembered it being. Tornado. Oh, yeah? You want some? Yeah, solid swords for the first C. Rocket is the most common fruit, and that guy has Tiger. Please do not attack me in this weekend state I am in. Z move, Missile Fist. Look at that damage, pretty good. Airstrike. And Rocket Crash. That's actually kind of cinema. No M1, but it also has a flight move. I actually like this. And then combat. I'm sorry, I cannot equip combat. It's literally impossible. It's not impossible. It's actually because Bloxfruits rules say it's too powerful to demo on screen. Sorry, guys. Sorry. So that is the build that guy commented. It's obviously a first C build. Therefore, the AI cannot give it an accurate rating, so I have to give it a rating. Lore Signal. From the mind, if I go back to when I was in first C, I give this build a 7.5 out of 10. For first C standards, it is a solid build. You have flight, you have mobility, and you got decent damage, and you got some flashy effects. Maybe let me look through real quick. The flintlock is better than the musket. I think. I literally have no abilities on this. The musket's probably better. Probably switch out for the musket. Sword-wise, the dual katana are really... If you could get Shark Saw later on and triple katana later on, those are better. A few swords in the first C that are also available, if you can get them later, are the dual-headed blade, the longsword. No, the longsword is not, my bad. The warden sword is. The trident is. The saber is. And the Bacento is. Those are all available in first C. If you could get something like the saber, the Bacento, the triple katana, the shark saw, the warden sword, you know, those are all available in first C, and those are definitely better than the dual katana. I don't know how, you know, what level you are in, how early you are in the game, you know, I really don't know. But if you could transform your build into something more like... If you could transform your build into something more like this, then you would be set up for the rest of first C and even the beginnings of second C. So your build is solid if you're just starting out, but by the end of first C, you definitely want to have something that looks a little bit more like this. If you had presented a build to me like this, I would have had to have rated it a 10 out of 10, but because I don't know what level you are, and I'm assuming you're pretty new, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now, let me go get my main build back on real quick. Actually, no, this build's good. I'm going to keep this for the end of the video. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. As I said, the uploads are going to be just cutting down a little bit. Instead of getting 2 or 3 uploads out a week, it's going to be more like one, you know, now that I have an actual job and, you know, all my hobbies I do and hanging out with friends. I do have friends. I know this is probably surprising news, but I do. So, but I'm still, like I said, gonna try and get at least 1 long form video out a week, 1 short out a week, and 1 community post out a week. By the way, go check out the community posts. I do a lot of fun stuff in there. Yay. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. You know, as always, I guess, like, subscribe if you like Bloxfruits. You know, you're welcome to do that. It's completely free and helps me out a ton. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Whee!